So every business, and I mean every business, runs into the same problem. You've got this amazing product, this great service, but finding the right people to sell it to, man, it can feel like you're just shouting into the void. The thing is, not all prospect lists are created equal, not even close. So let's dive in and figure out how to find your absolute best customers. Right? This is the $1 million question. And the quality of your answer here, well, it pretty much decides whether you succeed or fail. You can have the best offer on the planet, but if you're showing it to the wrong people, you're just wasting your time and money. So how do we go from just randomly spraying and praying to having like surgical precision? It all starts by understanding two very different kinds of lists. Okay, check this out. This is the big fork in the road. On one side, you've got compiled lists. This is basically just guessing. You're taking a bunch of demographic data, age, income, where they live, and you're just hoping. But on the other side, you've got buyer lists, and this is all about knowing. These are people who have already taken an action, they've whipped out their credit card, they've made a purchase, they've donated to a cause, and that shift in thinking, from who someone is to what they've actually done, that's the whole game right there. To really get a feel for this, we're going to imagine something called the value ladder. And to appreciate the top, you gotta start at the bottom. We're talking about the least effective, most common, and frankly, the worst kinds of lists you could possibly get your hands on. So, what's at the absolute bottom of the barrel? Think random names from a phone book. Yeah, seriously, zero targeting. You'd have better luck just yelling out your window. Now, a tiny step up from that is maybe targeting a phone book in a fancier neighborhood. A little better, I guess. Then, maybe you pay a bit more to filter for only the high-income folks on that list. Each step is a teeny tiny improvement, but you're still just guessing based on who they are. You're still casting a really, really wide and inefficient net. Okay, and here it is. This is the turning point. This is that big aha moment that separates the amateurs from the pros. We're about to make a huge pivot from focusing on who someone is to what someone does. And trust me, this changes everything. Let's make this super clear with an example. Imagine you're raising money for a dog sanctuary. Who do you think is the better person to ask for a donation? Just take a second and think about it. The answer might not be what you think. This quote right here, this is the secret sauce. Past behavior is the absolute best predictor of future behavior. It's not even a contest. What people have actually done with their own money, with their own time, that is 1,000,000 times more valuable than any label like homeowner or college graduate you could ever slap on them. So, back to our fundraiser. Your first instinct was probably to target dog owners, right? Makes sense, it's a demographic. But here's the catch. Owning a dog doesn't mean you donate to animal charities. The much, much stronger signal, targeting people who have donated to any cause before. The action of donating is the key, not the identity of being a dog owner. See the difference? It's huge. All right, so now we get it. Action is way more powerful than identity. Now that we have that superpower, we can start flying up this value ladder. Let's look at how we can use this idea to build a list of prospects that is just insanely good. So let's see how this works. We start with a pretty good list, people who've bought something similar to our product. Okay, that's a good start. But why stop there? Let's get pickier. How about we only look at people who've bought several times? Boom, now we have repeat buyers. What if we then filter for only the ones who spent a lot of money? Now we've got high-value repeat buyers. And then what if we add one more layer? They bought something recently. You see, with every single filter, we are zeroing in on a more and more perfect prospect. Now I know what you're thinking. All those filters, that's going to make each name on the list more expensive. And you know what? You're 100% right. It will. But that's not a bug, it's a feature. You are paying more per name because you're paying to weed out all the people who are probably never going to buy from you anyway. Your conversion rate will be so much higher that the extra cost becomes an investment that pays for itself over and over again. You're paying for quality, not quantity. We've been climbing pretty high, right? We've built this incredibly powerful, targeted list of amazing prospects. But we're not at the summit yet. There's one list that is more responsive, more profitable, and more valuable than any list you could ever buy. So, what is it? What's the number one, best, most profitable, most responsive list of all? The one that's sitting right at the very peak of our value ladder. And there you have it. It's your own customers, the people who have already bought from you, the ones who are buying from you right now. Think about it. They already know you, they already like you, they already trust you. They've proven with their own cash that they are the perfect audience for what you sell. Selling to them again is by far the easiest sale you will ever make.
So, after all that, what's the big takeaway here? What's the one thing you need to do? If the most valuable marketing asset you could possibly have is your own list of customers, then the most important thing you can do is start building that asset today.
I love this quote. It says it all perfectly. If you're not actively, deliberately building and taking care of your own list of customers and prospects, you are leaving your most valuable asset just sitting there, undeveloped. Don't wait. The best time to start was yesterday. The next best time is right now.